it speaks volumes that tomorrow we have a communist coming to the White House, because that's who the Democrat Party elected as the mayor of the largest city in the country. I think it's very telling, but I also think it speaks to the fact that President Trump is willing to meet with anyone and talk to anyone and to try to do what's right on behalf of the American people, whether they live in blue states or red states or blue cities.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zohran Mamdani a jihadist. Do you think you're standing next to a jihadist right now in the Oval Office?
No, I don't, but she's out there campaigning, and, you know, you say things sometimes in a campaign.
Isn't that sort of
She's a very capable person,
Isn't
but
that a kind of
you really have to ask her about that, but I don't particularly. I think I met with I met with a man who's a very rational person. I met with a man who really wants to see New York be great again, and I can say again, because New York was great.
Why did you fly here? Aren't trains greener?
I'll use every form of transit, and I want to make sure that they're all affordable in New York City, and that's why making buses fast and free is a centerpiece of our campaign.
There is a bus that goes.
Well, but I know, but it'd be fluid. That's a lot quicker too. You know, I mean, he's working very hard. For him to be, that's a very long drive. I'll stick up for you. You know, the plane takes you 30 minutes, and driving takes you a long time.
It sounds like you had a productive discussion, but just days ago you referred to President Trump as a despot who betrayed the country. You said you would be his worst nightmare and accused him of having a fascist agenda. Are you planning to retract any of these remarks in order to improve your relationship?
I think both President Trump and I, we are very clear about our positions and our views, and what I really appreciate about the president is that the meeting that we had focused not on places of disagreement, which there are.
And I've been called much worse than a despot, so it's not that insulting. Maybe I think he'll change his mind after we get to working together. Yes, please.
Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Mamdani administration?
Yeah, I would. I really would. Especially after the meeting. Absolutely.
And what makes you comfortable?
We agree on a lot more than I would have thought.
Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about.
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
So is that a reduction from what you're at right now? Or are you committing to maintaining the same level of cops?
I've committed over the course of the campaign to maintain the 35,000. That's the head count that we had through the campaign.
And not replace them with caseworkers, social work?
No, I've said that's the head count that we want. What we need to do is make sure they can focus on serious crime.
And he just retained a great police commissioner, I believe, right?
Yes, we did. Commissioner Fish.
If the newspapers are correct.
That one they're correct about.
He retained, I think, somebody that is she's a good friend of some of the people in my family, of Ivanka, and they say she's really good, really competent, and he just retained her, so that's a good sign.
As a leader, Jeffries, have to follow his lead.
Well, look, I hope they have great leaders. This is a man that right now I think is focused in New York City. I really think he has a chance to do a great job. We're going to help him, but I really think he has a chance to do a great job. But I'll let you answer that. You consider yourself the leader of the Democrats. I think it's more appropriate for him.
I consider myself the next mayor of New York City, and I keep my horizons firmly on New York City, and I appreciate the meeting with the president, which focused again on the 5 boroughs and whether New Yorkers could afford to live there.
By the way, being the mayor of New York City is a big deal.
Absolutely.
I always said, one of the things I would have loved to be someday is the mayor of New York City. Being the mayor of New York, and especially now, because I think you're at really a turning point, one way or the other. It could go great, or it can go in a different direction. And I think you really have a chance to make it great. I appreciate what you're doing.
Mr. President,
What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now you guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to check this one out, as it looks like the meeting with President Trump in the White House didn't go so well for the Democratic Socialists of NYC, as they're now turning against Zohran Mamdani after his latest meeting. So it looks like Eric Trump was right all along. along. This is a bunch of false bravado. This guy is playing the macho man, but it did not work.
I can tell you there's a lot of people who have gone into the White House before and, you know, tried to make a scene and tried to have a big PR event, and I think most of the people got laughed out of it. I mean, we saw that with Zelensky. I think I could probably name 25 people who went into the White House trying to be tough guys, and it didn't end up all that well for them. You know, my father's, I think, performs probably better than anybody in that moment, but we'll see. I mean, my father loves New York. He cares about New York. He wants to see the best for New York, so he would have an open door, and I'm proud of him for having an open door. I don't think this is the right direction from New York. I hope this guy is a lot more bravado than he is real action, but we'll see tomorrow. And you know, and again, this is Donald Trump at his best. You know, if the guy wants to showboat, I think, you know, he'll showboat right back, and there's no one that does that better than the commander-in-chief, as you know better than anybody, Laura.
Eric Trump hit the nail on the head. That tough guy act went out the window as soon as Zoran Mamdani got into the Oval Office meeting with President Donald Trump. And I believe our White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said it best: President Donald Trump is not the bad guy unless you make him out to be that.
This meeting today really proved that President Trump is willing to meet with anybody, to sit across the table, to shake hands, look people in the eye, and have discussions on how they can mutually benefit the American public. And don't forget, President Trump is a lifelong New Yorker. He loves that city. He helped build the skyline as it exists and shines today. So of course he wants New York to succeed. He wants all of America to succeed because he is a president for all Americans, despite what the Democrat Party and the leftist media might tell the American people every single day. The president wants this country to come together, and you saw that on full display in the Oval Office. Now, actions, of course, speak louder than words, and ultimately the mayor-elect will be judged by the actions he actually takes in New York, and that has yet to be seen. But as for the actions of President Trump and this administration, rest assured to New Yorkers and all Americans, the president is going to continue to put you first. We're going to continue to slash regulations, to bring down prices that were caused by the Democrat Party. We're going to continue to drill, baby, drill, unleash America's energy independence. And of course, we are going to continue to mass deport illegal criminals from our communities. And ICE will continue to operate in New York City. And that discussion took place in the Oval Office today. President Trump's never going to change his values, but he's always going to try to work with others to make this country great.
Again, this showed a lot of maturity and wisdom out of our President Donald Trump, sitting down and meeting with Zoran Mamdani despite their differences, putting that all aside to sit down and figure out how they're going to make the city of New York great again. And that's what you want to see from a president commander-in-chief. But you already know the loonies on the left are absolutely losing their minds. All the folks who support Zoran Mamdani are now coming out and protesting against him, saying this is not what we voted for.
What's your message to Zoran after he walked back a lot of his promises?
Say it ain't so. Zoran, say it ain't so, man. Please. I want to believe in you so badly. They said it from the beginning that you was from an upper class family. I didn't want to believe it. Maybe they was right about you, man. I hope they weren't, though. I hope they weren't.
So now you know that he's an upper class family, right?
Well, I knew that. I knew that. And now that he was one of the good ones.
And now he's hanging out with Trump in the Oval Office, probably smoking hookah, free hookah.
Free hookah, yeah.
Free hookah with old Trumpo.
Yeah, man.
Speaking facts right now.
And honestly, I'm not sure how it took New Yorkers this long to finally wake up to the front, the act that Zoran Mamdani has been putting on for the people, all for votes to get him into power. I mean, this is a complete chameleon that we're talking about. This guy changes his entire character, his personality, the things that he stands for based off who's in the audience or who he's speaking to. And we can see that very clearly based off his meeting in the White House with President Donald Trump. Now, it's not just this individual who's losing his stuff behind Zoran's meeting with President Trump in the White House. We also got that liberal TikToker, Harry Sisson, absolutely losing control over Zoran Mamdani's latest meeting. You guys have to see this one.
So Donald Trump just slobbered all over Zoran Mamdani. I mean, I have never seen Trump praise somebody so much. It was just a total love fest. Of course, Mamdani and Donald Trump met for the first time today in the Oval Office, and Trump was so complimentary of him. Like, after their meeting, he said, "I think you're going to have a really great mayor. The better he does, the happier I am, I will say." He also said, "I feel very confident that he can do a very good job. I think he's going to surprise some conservative people, actually." A reporter then asked Donald Trump, "Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Mamdani administration because he's a billionaire?" And Donald Trump said, Yeah, I would. And this is not just me, a liberal, making it up. It was so bad that Fox News even commented on it, saying, that's what we just watched. I think J.D. Vance is jealous. I think the president wants to use Mamdani as a running mate. They got along fantastic. And this is after Donald Trump has called Mamdani a communist, a socialist, all this nonsense. And he came out of that meeting saying, actually, Mamdani's focused on the right things and he likes him. I mean, we know that Donald Trump folds like a lawn chair when confronted in person, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. I mean, that was just stunning to watch.
After seeing this, we definitely know the meeting did not go as planned. We've got liberal TikTokers like Harry Sisson absolutely losing their minds and attempting to gaslight their following to believe that this meeting with Zohran Mamdani was a loss for Trump, when honestly I believe was quite the opposite. This was a loss for anyone but Trump. Zohran Mamdani, his voters, the folks who voted him in to stand up to the quote-unquote big bad orange guy in the Oval Office, those are the folks who lost in this one. Just admit it, you guys got owned by President Donald Trump. And I believe that this woman clears it up pretty good right here, saying that Trump was definitely not slobbering all over Zohran Mamdani. This was a total power move.
Well, I see people are confused, but Trump didn't legitimize Mamdani. He actually neutralized him. This is how. Mamdani is a new political power in the American left. Trump understands that. A power that is anti-Zionist, socialist, anti-Semitic, activist-driven. And this power is admired by young liberals, by Muslims, the old new BFFs. And they believe that they are the moral guardians of justice, of human rights. And that's the entire political identity of Mamdani. He sees himself as the oppressed protector. Now, Trump understands the trap. He could have gone after him, escalate the conflict. This is exactly how he will strengthen Mamdani. Because for Mamdani's voters, attacking Mamdani is attacking human rights, is attacking the oppressed. So Trump decided that he's not going to be the villain in Mamdani's script. That's it. So he praised Mamdani's campaign, talked about living in New York under Mamdani, and he stayed completely calm. He did not give Mamdani what Mamdani needed, the white supremacist Republican punchline. And when Mamdani repeated the lie about the genocide in Gaza, Trump didn't react. He didn't take that bait. I didn't like it either, but that's the tactic. You don't give them drama. And now for the genius part. If New York succeeds, Mamdani will owe his success to Trump, the so-called fascist. And if New York will collapse, Mamdani will not be able to claim sabotage. He will not be able to blame Republicans. And he will not be able to use this victimhood narrative that the left survives on. You see, Trump took his entire narrative away from him in one meeting. So bottom line, Trump sent Mamdani back to his voters with no conflict. And conflict is what Mamdani needs to survive. Because the left lives on outrage, on oppression, on moral drama. They need someone to fight in order to survive.
And when I originally stumbled across this one, all I could think was this lady is correct. She is spot on. President Donald Trump just made the ultimate power move by taking away that oppressed card from Zohran Mamdani. He let Zohran leave the White House with zero ammunition and zero drama to take back to his supporters, his base who thrives on that. The narrative of it's Zohran Mamdani fails, it's all on President Donald Trump because he does not support him, is no longer, because Trump said he's behind him every step of the way. And now his supporters are absolutely losing their stuff. We got illegal anti-Semitic protesters blocking Jewish New Yorkers from entering an NYC synagogue. Check this out. And this right here is totally unacceptable. These folks must have forgot where they are, but I'm going to quickly remind them that this is America. This is a free country, and folks are free to go and leave as they please. You cannot block someone on the sidewalk or the street simply because of the faith that they practice, their religion. And it really doesn't make sense coming from the Islamists who are trying to lead this Islamic takeover. Wouldn't you want to accept everyone, no matter what faith they come from? But I guess they draw the line at folks of the Jewish faith. Now, I want to flip over to this video I found very interesting. This is a body language expert breaking down and analyzing the entire meeting with Zohran Mamdani and President Donald Trump in the Oval Office.
I'm watching the body language and their facial expressions. I mean, literally every muscle on their face, and there's 52 of them, and I know how to decode every single one. There wasn't anything there that was alarming. A furrowed eyebrow or a tense lowered eyelid, or maybe even jaw biting. Something, right? But there wasn't any. Yeah, so my name is Susan Constantine. I'm the president of the Human Behavior Lab, and I am a body language expert specializing in deception detection and threat analysis. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised because I thought that they would come out with all guns slinging, right? That there would be this tension, animosity building up, but I didn't see that at all. It actually surprised me because as a body language expert, I was looking for any sort of tenseness and some friction between the two of them or disdain. Not any of it at all. So what really impressed me was the way they felt when they were around each other. There was a sense of camaraderie. They were very much at ease with one another. Their tone, their countenance when they was very respectful of one another. So I was surprised to see that happen. But then again, why should we be surprised, right? Because we have a president that says, all I want is peace. I want New York City to be a safe place to be. And they found common ground and respect for one another because they both wanted the same thing. So what I was pleasantly surprised about when I was watching the camaraderie between the two of them, Mamdani, he would make eye contact with President Trump. Oftentimes what we see is they give each other the cold shoulder in other moments when they've been together, but not today. So when President Trump would speak, he would look down at him, he would shake and nod his head in agreement, respectfully. So I was looking for any sort of concealment of emotion where you were showing a false sense of self and false sense of belief and camaraderie, but I didn't see it. There really was a genuine connection.
So there was a full professional breakdown of the meeting with Zohran Mamdani, President Donald Trump, in the Oval Office, and you can see that there was no beef, no animosity between the two because President Donald Trump is just that guy. He's going to get along with, and he knows how to work well with others. You know what I mean? You got to think about how many wars this man has ended in his second term. And we're not even a year in yet, and this guy has ended how many wars, settled how many disagreements, all the trade deals that he's made. I mean, this guy knows how to work people, and that's exactly what we've seen here. President Donald Trump is playing chess, not checkers. He knows exactly who needs who in this Mamdani situation.
Trump played chess. Today was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I am in the city council. I work with DSA council members, and I will tell you this guy's got a lot of answering to do when he comes back to New York, because he's got the DSA Linda Sauer types that are going to hold his hands over the fire for taking a meeting with Trump, let alone come out of it buddy-buddy. I think Trump was brilliant. I think Mamdani actually, we need the president, cannot move forward without federal dollars. So he knows he's between a rock and a hard place. And this has always been the question about Zohran. How is he going to navigate this? How's he going to appease the DSA? Because that's who he is clearly. And they stand behind him 100%. He's going to have a hard time explaining this to them. Now, to the point of taking up with Trump, it was brilliant. It was necessary. It had to be done. I come from a district and I come from a city that they are terrified of what this young man is going to bring to the city of New York as far as his anti-Semitism and his socialistic ways. He's made no bones about it. I think what Trump is going to do, we didn't see this behind closed doors, but I think Trump laid it out really square because that's what Trump does.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. Looks like Zohran Mamdani just learned the difference between campaigning and governing. He knows that he's going to need President Donald Trump along the way of his term as mayor of NYC, and that's exactly why he didn't make any bad blood. He didn't add fuel to the fire when it comes to his disagreements with President Donald Trump. He just got on board and said, hey, I'm willing to work together to make the city of New York great again, and that's how it should be. I know a lot of folks, a lot of supporters are going to walk away from Zohran Mamdani because not only is he siding with President Trump now, but he's also walked back a lot of the free stuff, the things that he promised along the campaign trail. But we called it. I mean, everyone could see straight through the act the charade that he's been putting on for these folks, and they bought it, and now they're getting the mayor that they voted for, Zoran Mamdani. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get it done, but now he's not going to be able to put all that blame on President Donald Trump fighting against him if he does fail. But guys, definitely hop in the comment section. Comments are open, and I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking about this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, we'll catch you on the next one. We're